So everyone, thank you for coming to the second part of our ECi dissemination event. I congratulate all the students and professors that are here to attend this afternoon of the end event of our project. I won't bother you a lot. Just to say that this is the culmination of 2 years and 3 months project in which we engaged, more than 120 students from 4 universities: Coimbra, Iași, Romania, Vigo, Spain, and Göttingen, Germany. So we all work together in getting to know what an European Citizens Initiative is. And we welcome you all so that you may also learn a little bit about this initiative, how it works, what is it for. And after this first presentation, it's a round table, you will be able to test it in practical terms. So we will have several activities for you: escape rooms, games, a quiz, and an exhibition. So we have 4 activities for the students. Each one of you, after this first session, when you go out through that door on my right to eat something, because we have a coffee break prepared, you will receive a tag, okay? You will receive a tag that distributes you in order for each of the tasks, each of the activities we have prepared, okay? So you must follow the tag that shows the first activity, second activity, third activity, fourth activity, okay? If you have doubts, we are here. We will lead the way and show you how to proceed to each of the places that will be there, and some even here, for each of the activities, okay? We can do this when you go out and during the coffee break, then we will lead you to the rooms. Again, thank you very much for coming. It's a pleasure to have such a filled up room with such young people, and also with the professors that I believe are really engaging you in citizenship, in being, participative citizens within your countries, your municipalities, but also within the European Union. Do not forget, we are amidst of this wonderful, I would say, some would disagree, but wonderful organization. And it's also our task to know what it is about and to know how to make it develop a little bit more as it has been developing for already decades, okay? So it's your turn to work on this. It's your turn to do your job as interested citizens, interested persons. So I hope you have a good time. And people that are still there, you can still sit here. Okay, there are some places here. This first moment won't take long, okay? But try to sit wherever you find a room, even here in the stairwells. So try to sit, okay, so that we can begin, okay? And now I give the floor to the moderator of the panel, project member, Pablo Riquelme Vasquez.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Professor Lopez, and welcome everyone to this second roundtable, views on European Citizens Initiative projects and platforms. You must be very interested if you are considering to stand for a couple of hours to hear you, so that's great. This auditorium is amazing, and we are very happy to have you here today. Before I introduce the speakers, I will give some indications. So to ensure that the debate and the presentations are going to be well organized. First, so each participant, each speaker will have 10 minutes, okay? So please, everyone tries to adapt to this time, 10 minutes, right? You can, of course, use a PowerPoint presentation. Some of you already have prepared everything. And yeah, so after this initial moment, the moment of the presentations, I will take the lead to do some comments about your presentations and to ask 1 or 2 questions. And then I will open the debate to the public. So you can pose questions. If you want, you can raise your hand and just ask. If you do that, I will ask you to come here to this table, because the only way Julio, who is joining online, can hear us is that you talk from this point. Okay, if you use this other microphone, Julio won't be able to hear you, so you have to come here. And the same for the speakers, okay? Try to be near this area, because this is the device that catch everything. Okay, so our first speaker is here in my right side, Vasiliki Moustakis. She is a participatory democracy coordinator at the European Citizen Action Service. She has conducted research on European civic identity, and specifically on the effect of the euro on European civic identity. And today she will offer us a general presentation on the role of the European Citizens Action Service. Vasiliki, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Get my presentation on. Okay, perfect. So yes, my name is Vasiliki Moustakis. I'm a participatory democracy coordinator at ECAS, which is a Brussels-based NGO. And I'll be talking about the European Citizens Initiative Forum, which is the official platform for the European Commission on the European Citizens Initiative. So a little bit about the NGO that I work at, European Citizens Action Service. As I said, this is a Brussels-based NGO, and our mission is to empower citizens in order to create a more inclusive and stronger European Union. And we do this in 2 parts. First, by promoting and defending citizens' rights, and the second, which is where the European Citizens Initiative Forum comes in, is developing and supporting mechanisms to increase citizens and citizen organization democratic participation in and engagement with the EU, which is what the European Citizens Initiative is. So the European Citizens Initiative and ECAS, we have been part of the development of the European Citizens Initiative since it was established in 2012. And this started first by a volunteer basis on our part with the ECi Support Center, which led to the European Citizens Initiative Forum, which I will give you a brief introduction of what it is. So the European Citizens Initiative Forum is an online collaborative platform that's available in all 24 EU languages. That provides advice and information to initiative organizers before, during, and after the process of launching and implementing an initiative. So to put it into simple terms, this is an online platform that has any type of information that you may need to launch your own European Citizens Initiative. So this is really the essential tool for potential and current organizers. And the aim of this forum is to support active citizen participation. And you can see in the image, this is the homepage of the forum if you wish to visit it. So our forum is split into many subpages, and one of the biggest subpage is the Learn subpage. And you can see an image of the Learn subpage here. And this is where you can find webinars, guidance notes, success stories for successful initiatives that reach those 1 million signature collection, and testimonials from organizers of ECIs, both successful and those that did not reach that 1 million mark. So the ECi Forum was established in 2019, and we as ECAS, under the contract with the European Commission, run and manage this forum itself. And so from the start of the forum to now, we've carried out about 9 webinars on various topics. So on the slide, you can see our most recent webinars, which are essential skills on what organizers need to launch their own initiatives. The European Commission has also launched the central online collection system. We did a webinar on this. And then as we've had COVID and the war in Ukraine, we also did a webinar on how to campaign when there's a global crisis and how to make your topic featured when external events are taking attention away. In addition to the webinars, we also do tailor-made training with initiative organizers. So from 2019 to present, we've done 13 trainings with newly registered initiatives. And these are the initiatives that we have done trainings with. The last 4 initiatives are current initiatives that you can go and see what their initiative is about and possibly sign if you would like or volunteer for their initiative. In addition to all of that, we also launched university presentation in February of 2022, because one of the biggest issues with the ECi is not a lot of people know what the ECi is, to be completely honest. I did a presentation with high school students from all over the EU last Friday, and I asked, do you know what the ECi? Nobody raised their hand. So this is one of the issues with the ECi itself, and as it is a right that you have as an EU citizen, we need to be raising awareness. So one of the ways that we do this is by doing university presentations, and we have presented since February to the following universities, to a total of 460 students. So we hope that those university students talk about the ECi and maybe launch their own ECi in the future. And then to that, we also have the discuss section on the forum, and this is really where you can discuss ideas that you may have for potential initiatives with other users on the forum and possibly find other initiative organizers in this way. We also have the connect, where you can connect with other forum users. And as was mentioned in the morning presentation, we are also going to be launching a Facebook group for the European Citizens Initiative, where you can find, you can connect with other stakeholders or other organizers in the ECi in that way, and gain information about the ECi itself through social media. This is another way that we're trying to raise an awareness of the ECi. And lastly, the most important part, I think, on the forum itself is the Seek Advice. So this is where you can get tailor-made and independent advice on your European Citizens Initiative. So you can get it on legal advice, campaigning, fundraising, or any other type of question that you may have about launching your own initiative, or during the process of collecting those 1 million signatures. This is a free service to anyone that is on the ECi forum, and in conversations that we've had with organizers, this is really the most important part, because it's very difficult to implement and launch your own initiative, and you do need the help from legal experts sometimes and campaigning and fundraising experts. And this is just some statistics on Seek Advice that we've had. So as you can see, the majority of them are legal Seek Advice inquiries. Most of the time they're asking if their initiatives are under the competencies of the EU. And as with everything on the ECi forum, the Seek Advice is also available in all EU languages. So you can see that we've had a total of 5 inquiries that were in French, 8 in German, 9 in Italian, etc. And then we have some additional resources on the forum. So if you're interested in the ECi as the data and statistics, you can check out our infographic, which is updated yearly. So currently it was last updated in May 2022, and it will be updated in May 2023. And this is really where you can find any statistics that you may have about the European Citizens Initiative. For example, the organizers that have launched their own ECIs, about 201 out of 800 are young organizers, so between the age of 18 and 30 years old. So we're seeing an increase of young ECI organizers, which is very important. And then we also have blog posts, which are written by stakeholders or organizers themselves that share lessons learned. And then we also have our online course, which gives a brief background of what the ECI is and what it takes to launch your own initiative. And that's the ECi Forum. And if you're interested in the ECI, I would really commend you to check out the ECi Forum itself. There's a multitude of different guidance materials there, videos, anything. And of course, if you have any questions, that's also my email. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vasiliki, for your wonderful presentation and for complying with the time requirements. You said something very interesting, Vasiliki. Can you hear me? Right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so thank you very much for this wonderful presentation, Vasiliki, and for complying with the time requirements. You said something very interesting. No one or almost or not many people knows what is an ECI, right? And I don't know if in this room everyone knows what is an ECI, or can we count on this knowledge, or should we explain something very briefly? Something maybe, yeah, maybe then Vasiliki, would you like to explain that?
Do the same thing that I did in the previous event. Raise your hand if you know what the European Citizens Initiative is. Okay. I guess I should have started with that. You can go on the ECi Forum to learn more, but I can give you a brief synopsis. So it's basically a right that you have as an EU citizen to launch or design your own initiative. An initiative needs to be under the competencies of the EU, and this is where the ECi Forum comes in. The goal of this initiative is really to reach 1 million signatures. If you do reach those 1 million signatures across the EU, then your initiative is sent to the European Commission, and the European Commission is required to respond to this initiative, but that does not necessarily mean legal new legislation. So that is one of the tricks of the ECI, and it's the first supranational participatory democracy tool. So supranational means that it's at the EU level. So it's your way to have a say in what the European Commission will legislate on.
Yeah, thank you very much. I guess you have now a lot of questions, but please, if this is the case, write down these questions and we can gather them at the end of the presentations and we can answer all of them together, okay? So please, if you have questions, write them down and let us know at the end of the presentations, okay? Is that fine for everyone? Thank you very much. So thank you again, Vasiliki, for your wonderful presentation. Now, I am afraid that Carlos Medeiros, from the Information Center Jacques Delors, is not going to join us today because of personal reasons. He cannot be with us today. So I will give the floor to the next speaker, who is Julio Teixeira. Julio Teixeira joins us. Hi, Julio, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, yes. Can you hear me as well?
No. Wait 1 minute.
Okay.
But
yeah.
you have to disconnect the sound here, the microphone, okay? You
Okay.
don't have to.
Okay, okay. So, Julio, I give you the floor in a while. Let me please introduce you very briefly. Okay, so Julio Teixeira is Policy Officer for Cohesion Policy and EU Budget at the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions. And he will discuss today some examples of the role of the ECIs within the cohesion policy. Now, Julio, you have the floor, and and please, I ask you to respect the 10 minutes, okay? Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks a lot, Pablo. How is my audio? Can you hear me well? Okay. I would like to share a presentation that I showed you. You could have it on the screen, please. Okay, just a second. All right. Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you're all enjoying the exchange of views we're having today. For starters, I would like to thank Professors Isabel Valente, Alexandre Aragão, and Dulce Lopes for organizing this event and also for enabling me to participate online, as well to all the speakers present and the public, which make it possible for this discussion to take place today. So I will be addressing the link between cohesion policy, one of the main investment policies of the EU, and try to link it with the importance of civil participation. But for starters, let's take a look at the policy itself. So cohesion policy, as I just said, is the main EU investment policy, which aims at reinforcing economic, social, and territorial cohesion across the EU. As you know, the European Union is composed of various member states and many different regions, which do not exactly stand on the same ground regarding socioeconomic development. So you can look at cohesion policy as the glue that holds these regions together by balancing out regional disparities and also enabling the EU single market to work. So the current cohesion policy has 5 policy objectives. We will go through them very fast. So firstly, we have a more competitive and smarter Europe. This is when it comes to research, innovation, reaping the benefits of digitalization to our citizens, boosting the economic growth of small and medium companies, among other things. Number 2, we have a green, low carbon transition towards a net zero economy. Of course, this is not only a European priority, it's a global issue. So of course that there's a very big focus by the EU on this topic. So this goes towards a clean and fair transition for all regions and citizens, supporting green and blue investment, circular economy, and climate change mitigation. Moving to policy objective 3, we try to achieve a more connected Europe by enhancing mobility when it comes to strategic transport or digital networks, as well as closing the gap between European networks. Now, reaching policy objectives 4 and 5, which are the most relevant ones for this event, we have a more social and inclusive Europe when it comes to increasing the economic and social convergence upwards in the EU, facilitating labor mobility and giving us more opportunities to develop employment. Looking at number 5 specifically, it is one of the most recent policy objectives for cohesion policy. It is to have a Europe that is closer to its citizens. By this, I mean, the idea is to foster sustainable and integrated development in which the citizens and local actors play a key role. And of course, to achieve all of this, we need the resources, which are about 420 billion euros to be used in investments for the areas I just mentioned above, which take place between the 2021 and 2027 periods. Now, moving on to give you a bit of context about the organization I work for. So the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions, aka the CPMR, is an association which brings together more than 150 regions, about 200 million citizens from around 24 member states and some countries beyond the European Union. We are composed of different policy teams, which aim at making sure that the interests of our member regions are properly considered on policy making. These issues go on a wide range of topics, from maritime to social, economic, and territorial cohesion, again, to blue growth and accessibility. So concerning my team, the cohesion policy team, we advocate for cohesion policy to be a strong territorial investment policy that reinforces overall cohesion in all regions based on a strong multi-level governance arrangement and also in partnership with the regions and their citizens at its core. So moving forward, I'm going to present here some of the elements that make cohesion policy more, that give it some proximity to EU citizens. So these elements would be its core values, which are partnership principle, multi-level governance, and a bottom-up approach. Starting on with partnership principle, this establishes a close cooperation between public authorities, economic and social partners, and civil society, together with the three levels of governance in the EU. This would be the EU institutions, the national governments, and the local and regional authorities. So together, they should have an active role in planning and implementing the investments across the European Union. Secondly, multi-level governance tries to establish a framework in which the three levels of governance work together to identify the specific investments or what needs to be done in a specific region to boost its development. And of course, a bottom-up approach, it highlights the input of those that are in the field. This case, the citizens, which form local actors and social interested groups. So moving forward, I must say that as of now, cohesion policy is entering a big debate on how it's going to change for the future. The first official proposals of the new policy should be out in 2025 by the European Commission. And interestingly enough, one of the key points of the discussion is to have further citizen engagement in the policy making itself. So recently, there was a report by the OECD and the European Commission looking at the benefits of enhancing civil participation in cohesion policy. We're just going to look at a few here. So why should we involve citizens in policy making? Well, for starters, we have a more democratic and transparent policy-making process by including diverse actors who can take action in also implementing and planning the European funds. Overall, there's also better policy results because you are taking into account the experience and knowledge of European citizens, which know better than anyone what is needed and what are the priorities for their own regions. So by taking this into account, you have more meaningful investments with a more positive impact in the lives of EU citizens, of course. And also a third one, which is very important, enhancing public trust in governmental and democratic institutions. Although this aspect is not specifically linked to delivering results when it comes to investments, it is one of the most important ones for building up EU identity and developing further the EU project. This, considering that it's much more likely for citizens to trust their local and regional authorities than their national or EU counterparts, let's say. So local and regional authorities are actually the closest EU actors that we have to citizens, and thus they should play a key role in regaining confidence on the European project. But to underline a bit more of this point, I would like to mention a paper by a professor of the London School of Economics, Andrés Rodrigues Pose. The paper is titled "The Revenge of the Places That Don't Matter." In this paper, he addresses a very interesting concept, which is the geography of discontent. So basically, in an oversimplified way, of course, in this paper, he is able to link the territories in which citizens consider themselves left behind or forgotten with the rise of populism and political extremism across the EU. So he also argues that territorial inequalities and failing to listen to the voices of citizens in building up the European project were some of the main catalysts behind the Brexit situation. So overall, it's a very compelling argument, underlining the needs of addressing territorial inequalities, and most importantly, the importance of making sure that citizens' voices are heard in this process. So moving on to a more concluding note, although this is not my expertise because the CPMR mostly works with regional governments, I would like to point out some specific actions that citizens can take in order to try to influence cohesion policy and make it closer to the citizens. So the first one I would say is getting together as a civil society and then identifying the available actions and voicing their wishes and interests. So it's a bit tricky to specifically mention what kind of actions can take place because it depends of national and regional arrangements that your specific government and your specific region may have. But for example, in Spain, the regional government of Cantabria established a citizen jury in which they gather a demographically representative group of citizens to give them the resources and time to reflect upon policy issues, which then they can take a position to pass on to the government. For example, last year they had one of the topics, which was how to use European green funds to maintain jobs and create new jobs in the green transition. So just to name an example, moving forwards, I think, of course, it's very important to take advantage of the EU tools and initiatives to make your voices heard. Of course, here I really need to highlight the ECi, the European Citizen Initiative, as an important tool at your disposal, specifically because you have legal ground on the Treaty of the European Union and the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union. Also, it's important to keep an eye out for any other initiatives that come up. I still remember from last year, the conference on the future of Europe as one example. And now, thirdly, specifically for cohesion policy, I would say that you could try to advocate specifically for more civil engagement and not consultation, because as of now, the process or the role of citizens is very much connected to a consultative body. But we should have mechanisms and tools to make them be able to participate also in the planning and the implementation, because as I've mentioned before, the citizens know very well what are the needs of investments and priorities for their regions. And now, on a concluding note, I think it's important to remember, among all the complexity of the EU and its governance, that the EU is made of its various regions, and most importantly, of its citizens. And of course, they should have a key role in working towards European integration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julie. I hope you could hear the applause. Now you are silent, so please, if you need to tell us something, we cannot hear you, write on the chat and I will give you the floor, okay? Thanks a lot. Yeah, so great. I repeat the same, please, if you have questions, write them down now and you will have the opportunity to pose these questions at the end. By the way, I didn't mention that although Carlos Medeiros was not able to be here, if you have some question related to the topic of his speech, namely the role of the ECi national contact points, you can pose a question, because here we have some colleagues of him that can answer, or you can send the questions per email, okay? So you have this possibility. And now it's the time to listen to João Tiago de Souza. João Tiago de Souza has studied political science and international relations. He collaborates with the team that conducts the lifelong learning platform in Brussels, and he will explain today the connection between the ECi and the lifelong learning program. So Tiago, João, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see plenty of young adults. It's my pleasure to be back to Coimbra, thank you for having me here. I would like to Professor Isabel Valente for our first contact, and of course, thanks lots for their invitation and for their sympathy. So thank you for being here. So the lifelong learning platform, which I will start collaborating soon physically, is an umbrella that gathers 42 European organizations active in the field of education, training, and youth. Currently, these networks represent more than 50,000 educational institutions and associations covering all sectors of formal, non-formal, and informal learning. The platform aims to voice citizens' concerns about lifelong learning. The idea is that no one should be left out and that bridges are built across sectors to increase access to quality education for all. In order to achieve its goals, the platform advocates towards the European institutions by sharing its views on various issues to education and the participation of civil society in public debates. So, the European Citizens Initiative presents itself as a unique tool provided by the EU that allows citizens to participate directly in the democratic process and the development of EU policies and legislation by proposing new EU laws or the rightful changes to existing ones. This mechanism, introduced by the Lisbon Treaty in 2009, enables EU citizens to voice their opinions and concerns and to actively participate, playing a crucial role in the shaping of the EU, of this common political, societal, and economic project that is our union of currently 27 member states, and that keeps growing, as we know. I would say that one of the most pressing issues of our time are the challenges that regard education and employment. In today's rapidly changing world, the job market is indeed more competitive than ever, as you know, and citizens are expected to acquire modern skills so they can remain capable, relevant, and competitive. Also, the changing nature of work with the rise of automation and digitalization has resulted in significant job losses in several industries, while in the opposite way, creating new opportunities to others. Adding to this reality, the COVID-19 pandemic, as you know, has also exacerbated these challenges, resulting also in significant job losses across the world. This has led, unfortunately, to an increase in unemployment rates and the rise in poverty levels, and many people are struggling now to find work that matches their skills and qualifications. However, challenges are not obstacles that we cannot overcome. I would say that it's not too early or too late to learn. So the lifelong learning programs refer to a series of initiatives launched by the European community to promote education and training opportunities for all citizens throughout their lives. These are designated to provide people with ongoing education and training throughout their lives so they can continue to develop their skills, competencies, and knowledge in order to adapt to changing societal needs and to remain competitive in the job market, as I told you. These programs can take various forms in ways that allows learning to occur outside a formal education institute, such as schools, universities, and corporate training, and also to include, of course, vocational training, apprenticeships, and formal education. This philosophy, I would say, actually promotes the idea that people are perfectly able to take advantage of their learning opportunities at all ages, and in various contexts, at work, at home, and also through leisure activities. Our continuing education is attitudinal. People can and should be open to new ideas and skills. In my understanding, we must acknowledge that the traditional ways of learning and job seeking are no longer enough. The world is evolving at an unprecedented rate, and the adaptation to this change by embracing modern skills and technologies are indeed a must. Meaning the necessity for being open to learn new things and be willing to acquire the necessary skills to succeed in the modern workplace. At the same time, we must also think outside the box. We all learned this expression before when it comes to job seeking. So it's no longer sufficient to rely on traditional methods. On her 2022 State of the European Union speech addressing the European Parliament, Madam Vice President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has announced 2023 as the European Year of Skills. This initiative is a testament to the importance of skills development in the modern world and the need for Europeans to constantly improve their competences to thrive in the ever-changing European and global economies. This European Year of Skills is a call to action for individuals, business, and governments to invest in lifelong learning skills and their acquisition. The campaign is aimed at raising awareness of the importance of skills development and promoting access to quality training and education opportunities for all citizens. At the heart of this European Year of Skills is the recognition of such skills such as creativity, problem solving, critical thinking, leadership, communication, collaboration, information management, among others. Skills are the foundation of innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. They are crucial for increasing productivity and competitiveness, and they play a crucial role in the creation of high-quality jobs. So what connects all these things, and why is it important? The answer can rely on the fact that they all share a common goal: to empower citizens by promoting active citizenship and to enhance the citizens' skills and knowledge. The European Citizens Initiative provides citizens with a powerful tool to participate directly in the EU decision-making processes by allowing them to propose and influence the making of new laws and policies. It encourages citizens to engage in research and dialogue on particular issues and develop informed opinions and proposals. Similarly, lifelong learning programs provide individuals with opportunities to develop critical thinking skills, to become better informed, to access information and knowledge, and to engage in intellectual and cultural activities that empowers themselves to become more informed and engaged members of their communities. Furthermore, lifelong learning programs can also help citizens to effectively participate in the ECi. A good example of such initiatives proposing new legislation that requires employers to provide more and better training opportunities to their employees, or such initiatives that focus on promoting education and training for specific groups, such as migrants and refugees who may need additional support in gaining the skills that they necessarily need to integrate into their new communities. Through the ECi, as we know, citizens have the power to shape the EU policy, allowing them to have a direct say in the laws that affect their lives. To do this effectively, citizens need to be well informed and educated on the issues that they care about. So this is where the numerous lifelong learning programs throughout Europe come in, such as, for example, the Erasmus Plus supported Open Your Eyes project that focused on improving digital literacy of adult learners by providing them with tools to identify fake news and fight the spread of misinformation online, or the Choice project, which the lifelong learning platform is also a partner, that aims to develop and test an innovative and collaborative approach supporting reform of school curricula in several Mediterranean European countries. Moreover, the 2023 European Year of Skills aims to further enhance the quality of and relevance of learning and training opportunities for all. As a significant EU initiative that it represents, aims at promoting a European-wide conversation on the importance of developing and improving skills in the workplace, schools, and daily life. Overall, the ECE and ECi and the lifelong learning programs can be seen as complementary tools for promoting active citizenship, education, and democratic participation, and can contribute to the development of more informed, engaged, and participative society. It's imperative, as I think, that we equip ourselves and others around us with the necessary skills and knowledge to remain resilient in the face of now and future adversities. And we, especially the youth and the younger generations as yourselves, must look at the challenges we face as opportunities to think and act bigger and brighter, and to come up with creative solutions that will help us thrive. Thank you so much for listening.
So, yeah, thank you very much, Joao. And now, since we are running out of time, because we are supposed to end at 15:30, right? Okay, so I will ask Professor Ana Maria Versu to come here so we can project her presentation. Can you please join me for a while? Yes.
Okay.
So this is live stream. No, that's not.
No.
Right. Why is that not working?
Okay, now
No.
I think it's going down. Okay,
And it is this one,
this
right?
is yes.
Okay, this one. And we will share it with,
And I stay here, Pablo.
you can use that because this is supposed
Okay.
to let you.
And this is, let's see, put it under. Okay,
Okay, let me please introduce you very briefly. So our last speaker is Professor Ana Maria Versu. She teaches at the University Alexandru Ioan Cuza in Romania. She has a lot of areas of interest, public administration and management, strategic planning, public policies, and others. But today she will offer us some final remarks about the relation between the promotion of the ECi and the Erasmus Plus projects, such as ours. So, Ana Maria, the floor is yours.
thank you so much. Dear professors, dear colleagues, dear high school students, it's a huge pleasure to be here with you today and to share with you some of our experience during the ECi project. It should be said that I am the representative of the Romanian team of ECi project. And with my colleagues, we developed a lot of activities and we share with you now the main outcomes and also the outputs of our project. I think that in terms of our audience, that is mostly of the high school students, it's very important what we gain when we join such a project, such an European project. So dearest students, maybe it's time to think what you could have after you gain the activities that imply the European citizenship. So in this regard, please allow me, allow me to present my team because my colleagues and I, we are here. So I am Ana Maria Versu. I'm from the University Alexandru Ioan Cuza in Iași, Romania, one of the oldest universities in Romania and one of the best, I could say. I am professor of public administration and I work with the students during the graduation programs and master also. Also, Mihaela Tofan, my colleague is there. She is also a professor of public administration. She works mostly in the field of law, which is very important, and she enjoyed us in this journey with a lot of insights about how the European citizens works from the regulatory perspective. Also, Elena Chigu, which is my colleague from Public Administration Department, also she works in the field of public finance, a domain that is very interesting. We want pay taxes, so in this regard, maybe it's important to know if we are good citizens that we pay the taxes. So for our students, it's very important to know how to deal with all these things. And also, but not least, of course, our colleague from Department of Management, Silvio Mihail-Pizza, which joined us during the project, and not only one, we have a lot of projects together. And she is professor of gamification, so a lot of work to do in order to join the games, but not all the games, the gamification that explain how to use this and how to promote citizenship through the games, for the instance, and after that maybe concerning the citizenship at the other level. So you could be the better citizens for the entire society. If you ask what we do during this project, the Romanian people, we a lot of help from our coordinator, Professor Lopez here, and our colleagues from Göttingen University, Vigo University. We have had a lot of activities, that we join to help our students involved. If I can see here the students from Portugal that came to Romania in May last year. So hi guys. Also, we have had a lot of activities that like management of the project. This is a lot of financial activities, but also the research activities that requires from us a lot of interest in order to develop some knowledge for you in order to know how to deal with the European citizenship. For me as a student, our colleagues Elena and Silvio joined two groups of students that play a very important role to create main idea to offer the European Citizenship Initiative, and they just help our students to develop and to put it into the force in the communication process. A lot of works that we have made it during the project. Maybe it's not the time to discuss every activities, but you could see it here because we have had to manage not only the coordination of the students, but also the coordination of all activities that we have. Maybe the last point that results in the main important outputs I said, but I will discuss a little bit maybe about outcomes that are more important than the outputs. So the outputs could be peer learning activities that we have been made in 2021. It should be said that were online, so it was a great achievement for us because students like you joined us online during the activities, and it was a success. Intensive course on ECi that happens in Romania in May 2022. The students from Göttingen University, from Vigo University, from Coimbra University comes in Romania and join us during 1 week with a lot of activities that we have. E-learning courses that are also very important. For example, for you, if you want to join this ECi courses, you could access our platform that is provided to the students and to join the courses that we have it about how to prepare an initiative, which is the mechanism, how to sustain your point of view in the front of the commission. So all the steps that you already here now in the discussion. The first ECi module means that our students just sustain their initiative in the front of the commission, and they succeed. They have the initiative accepted by the commission. And the second ECi module that taking place in Göttingen this year, it was not this year, but the October 2022. That also made a lot of gains through the activities that we have. This is the program that we have in Romania when all the students from the free and also Romania for the university participated. That is very important. I think that we will have the sustain of our partners, and one of the partners is here. I should thank Elena Telescu, professor from University of Luxembourg, for sustaining all our activities. Elena is there. Elena sustained the activities with a lot of insights about the European creation from the historical point of view. So these are the insights that we have during our work together. And as I told you, maybe it's not important in terms only in terms of outputs, but in terms of outcomes. What us and what our students gain. Us, we gain knowledge, we gain skills how to promote, how to sustain the European projects. More important, I think, is what our students gain. Our students gain knowledge in the field of European Citizen Initiative. Our students from the Cork University gain friendship for a lifetime. They share between them a lot of values, a lot of behaviors, and they establish a strong connection between them. They also share the knowledge they gain during the e-learning courses, and this means that now they are more informed about European Union and how to manage them. These are some photos about online activities and also from Romanian part of learning and this intensive learning in Iași. Here are more photos with our colleagues from the Cork University and our students from everywhere. So everything was just amazing in terms of how to build a connection between people. And I think that Erasmus projects and what we gained together was the possibility, the opportunity to be together and to share our common values. More photos with a lot of activities that we are having in not only Romania. I think here we are. Oh no, it's in Romania. It's in Romania. Like I told you, we have also the research activities. We write something in order to remain and to see that our work counts. So we have a paper that was published already. It's about European Citizen Initiative from the fiscal point of view. So if we are good citizens in order to pay our taxes, then what happens in terms of policy making? This is a short overview about what motivates us, which are the research objectives, and the results. The results, in fact, are very important. What we did, we gain the possibility to make a better European Union if we are involved citizens at all levels. So I didn't put any final slide. We thank you all, because I think that this conference it seems to be the final of our project. But I think that it's not. I think that the project, yes, it's ended. But our friendship, our cooperation, our work together just started. So it's not goodbye news. It's just see you soon. maybe here, maybe in Vigo, maybe in Göttingen, and of course at Yash. And for you guys, for all of the high school students, be implied and try to be connected with everything around you. And this means to have an active citizenship. So, see you soon, Coimbra, Göttingen, Vigo, and also Luxembourg, because Elena is already a part of our team. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ana Maria, for your wonderful presentation as usual. And yeah, so now I am supposed to do complex and deep comments during 45 minutes around these issues. No, it's a joke. So I think we'll run out of time. So I think we can maybe have time for one question if our spectators want to ask something, or even the speakers. Anyone wants to ask something? In the forefront, maybe? No? They just want to play, yes. Okay, so I think we can finish here the second round table, and maybe I can give the floor again to Professor Dulce to give you some indications. Thank you very much for your attention. Have fun.
Thank you, everyone, for being usually very quiet. Usually very quiet. You behaved really nicely. So good work, parents and teachers. We will move on now to the fun part of the event. Eduardo will give you some pointers on what will happen now for the next 1.5 hours. The idea is that we go and do some activities as we promised you. And around 5:40, we come back here just to wrap up the meeting, okay? And present 2 more little things and say goodbye. We will close transmission now for a while during the activities because it's something that we have to do hands-on. We cannot be in front of the camera to do so. So we will close transmission. For those that are at home, we will resume at around 5:40, just for 20 minutes if you want to attend. For those that are here, Eduardo will explain what follows. Thank you very much.